Today I'm going to talk about a deadly disease, a pandemic if you will, but not the one that we've all been suffering through. This horrible infection is modern day celebrity. And before we get into it, if you haven't clicked the like button, please do. Subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And thanks very much for joining the video. So what is a celebrity? Well, it used to mean somebody who was well known for an achievement or a talent. But it's not like that anymore. It used to be that it was somebody a sports person who'd done something amazing. They'd broken a world record or they'd represented your country in the Olympics and done really well. Or it was somebody who made a great movie or was a brilliant musician, a guitarist, a drummer. Excuse me. That used to be celebrity. But these days, you don't have to have actually really done anything to be a celebrity. You've just got to make a bit of a tit of yourself, mess about a little bit, garner a following. Everything's changed now. Now it appears to be people who act the most outrageous who become well known. And so what's happened is there's been a new breed of celebrity coming through they're kind of self-made celebrities, but very clickbait celebrities. And the easiest way for them to do that is to be controversial. So they do stunts, they call people out, they use a specific language or kind of, showing off and whatever. And they've not got any scruples, like they don't care. A good example was, I don't know which Paul brother it is because I don't follow any of them, but either Jake Paul or Logan Paul, who went to the forest in Japan that's famous for people going there, unfortunately, to commit suicide. And they recorded a vlog and he was walking through the forest and unfortunately found somebody who had gone there to die, and had been successful. So he recorded it and he got a lot of backlash for it. But he knew at the time that, well, this is going to get me clicks. People are going to want to see this. I don't care that it's somebody who's died or even that somebody was suffering. He just wanted the clicks, and that's what modern day celebrity is. And so it's almost like really selling yourself. Selling your soul to the devil for a following, for clicks. I mean, it's how disturbing is that? Like, it doesn't really matter what you do, as long as you get those clicks. And that's what people push these days. And do we really want to follow people who are doing those things? It's great to watch a crazy video, but when you realise that that's their thing, that's their shtick, it becomes a bit tacky, really. And so I think that the older celebs, the traditional celebrities, the movie stars, the Hollywood stars of yesteryear, they began to realise, even the movie stars and rock stars of today, the traditionalists, the ones who haven't come up through social media, they feel threatened now by the people coming through social media. The ones who build up a following of millions and millions, and they build a bigger following than the traditional celebs of the past. And I think that's a bit of a threat. I think it's competition, and they realise that in their downtime, they haven't got the constant eyes on them that these new wave celebrities do. So then they realise that they've got to figure out a way to continue being in the spotlight. They also realise that these other celebrities, these shock celebrities, these reality celebrities, social media celebs, they're making a ton of money. Loads more money than the traditional movie stars, because the movie stars would make all of their money in one go in a movie. And if it was good, they would do well. If it was bad, they wouldn't. They'd crash. These new style celebs, they're making money all the time. Constantly, from merchandise, from their weekly or even daily vlogs. They're making constant money, and that money, it's filling up their banks. So the traditional celebs, realised that they'd got to do something to get a piece of that pie. So what do? You get into that world and you start to try and garner your following, and a lot of people do get a big following just purely on their fame of movies and music and that sort of thing. But they're still not hitting the numbers that these shock celebs are hitting. So the easiest way then, that I guess that they found, that they tried and tested, was you become a mouthpiece for the elite. Because it's easy to shock people with saying things about politicians, about politics. It's very easy. So you can garner a big following very quickly, and also people who agree with what you're saying. It's nice to have people pat you on the back and say, oh, thanks very much. Oh, thanks for representing us. So it's very easy for these celebs to start to pick sides in politics now, and it's an easy win for them. I don't know how easy it's going to be now that Donald Trump's not around, because it's just become one big echo chamber now. Everybody screaming the same things at each other and clapping each other. But it's so they're stuck. They're now stuck. They've got nothing left to kind of wail about and be angry about. I mean, they're still trying to keep it going. But what elite politics does, and it's what I'm really sick of, to be honest, what this video is all about, is it gives these celebrities a very lucrative side hustle to their real job, so long as they toe the line, so long as they follow the narrative. That's all you've got to do. Just follow the narrative. That's fine. Just make sure that you're doing what we ask you to do. And if you do, you can get to the top, and we'll take you to the top, and it's untold riches at the top of this game. And if you toe the line, we'll cancel your competitors, the people in your industry. And this is what the politicians are very, very good at anyway, is corrupting other people. That's how they lobby. That's how they get support. And I mean, do you honestly think that Joe Biden got to be the president of the United States on merit? Do you think that Boris Johnson got to be the Prime Minister of the UK on merit? It's all about how you influence people, and the biggest influence is money, because that's the system we live in. So that's what they do, and it's something that really winds me up, is seeing celebrities out there on social media, on TV, on whatever, putting out political propaganda for the elites. They're in the same club, and they're they're attack dogs. It's good. It's great because they know that these celebs have the biggest followings, and they have influence over all these people. These people see them as celebs as authority figures, right up there. They venerate them. So the politicians know, okay, so these have got really big followings of people who trust them, who are fans of theirs, who will go through hell and high water for these people. And they say, okay, if we can get them on side and we can teach them the game, they can be really useful for us. They've got bigger followings than we have. And that's the way it's working at the moment. It's terrible. It's terrible. It's like a mafia. It's the old Pablo Escobar thing of plata o plomo. Plata being silver, plomo being lead, bullets. So first of all, you offer them money, which they do to the celebrities. They offer them cash and opportunity and everything else, or they offer them the bullet. And the bullet is you get cancelled. You don't come along. You don't play our game. You get cancelled, and you don't have a life. You don't have a career. So it's an easy choice to make, I guess. And they get their pockets lined. They do what the elite says, when the elite says, and they get their pockets lined. It's all about personal interests. The celebrities are in it as politicians are, but celebrities are there for themselves. They're there to make the wealth. They love their lifestyles, as do politicians. the politicians just allow them into the bottom rung of the club. Okay, come on in. Just make sure that you're backing us up in all the media that we're pushing, the brainwashing we're pushing, propaganda. Just make sure you're helping us. That's why they're called influencers. Because they have influence. Because people trust them. People blindly trust them. And I guess it was back in the day. So back in like the day that when I used to watch movies and look up to celebrities, it was slightly different. Well, it was different because you didn't have the channels that they can communicate with. So these celebrities knew that they were famous for what they were famous for, and then that was it. Beyond that, they had a private life, and they didn't need to do anything else. They did their job, and they made their movie, they made their album if they were a musician, and that was it. There was nothing else after. Now the celebrities want to be greedy. They want more. They want to be in the top rung of the ladder. So what ends up happening through this influence that they have is that their followers adopt their opinions, adopt what they're saying, even if it's the most stupid kind of opinion out there. People accept it and go, oh yeah, that's brilliant. Oh wow, how brave. God is brave. So it's really it's a tempting world for them to get into, isn't it? Where the celebrities can just ping out some posts, some tweets, some videos on YouTube, whatever. Do some podcasts, some in the echo chamber. Heaven forbid outside. Heaven forbid having a proper debate, because that's different. Like if you've got an opinion, if you're a celebrity and you've got an opinion, go and speak with people on the opposite side and discuss. And have that out, have the discussion. That's what it's all about. It's about trying to have a discussion and say, okay, let's talk about this. Let's see what is logical, what isn't logical, what's okay, what's not okay, what I agree with, what I don't agree with. Do I agree with you? Do I not agree with you? But I agree on that point, but not that point. And that's how you find common ground. But they're just, these days, they're not interested. All they're interested in is lining their own pockets, and that's it. And because of that, they lose their integrity. A lot of these celebs now, they get involved in things that they don't need to get involved in. I'll tell you why, because celebrities, famous people, the way it should be, in my opinion, is you're famous, you have your fans, and your fans are a broad spectrum of political views, of tastes, of everything. You need to look after, these are your fans. You need to look after your fans. Forget about the politics. Forget about the people who are paying you, kind of putting money in your bank account. Look after your fans. They'll always look after you. So now you have a lot of celebs on social media who talk so much rubbish about the other side, about the people that they perceive to be kind of the enemy. But let me just clarify something. The other side generally is anybody who's trying to upset the order of things, the gravy train, the establishment. And being very, very clear, the establishment is currently the people that are in charge in the US presidency and in global. There's a few exceptions globally of governments that aren't in that team, and they're vilified. But generally, it's the current US presidency, and it's the current governments across Europe and North America. They're the establishment. They're on the payroll of the global elite, of the corporations, the people making the decisions. And it's not far-fetched. I mean, these corporations lobby. These corporations pay money. And they're super wealthy. They can pay countries and politicians to keep quiet, to speak about what they want, to do what they want. So celebrities kind of fit into that. So any time that you see celebrities supporting politicians, you've got to question. You've honestly got to question. Got to question their integrity. And you've got to question that, like, question your own opinions that before you support them. Because they're on the gravy train. Choo-choo. Choo-choo. They're on that gravy train, baby. They're getting the money. Do you know what I mean? And like, So the rest of us, we're in a normal world where we pay taxes and everything else. Celebrities put their money offshore. They get money from all of these special interests. They get, man, it's them and us, and celebrities are with them, and they're used as mouthpieces. That's the thing. They're used as a mouthpiece to talk about the interests of the elite. If they're supporting a president or a politician, that's a bad sign. Because there's no reason to. What connection does a celebrity, apart from money, have with a politician? So there's a couple of examples that I wanted to give of just some celebrities who've just been idiots recently. You're just like, what is going on? Like a great man, Arnold Schwarzenegger from the past. And again, look at how I've described him, a great man. Generally, I don't know anything about Arnold Schwarzenegger, only what I've seen from documentaries and from his movies. I really super appreciate his movies. I was a big fan of Arnold. But he's recently come out and done videos about this Capitol Hill insurrection. It wasn't an insurrection. Like the people who are supposed to be in power are in power. The people that the elite want in power are in power. There's nothing insurrectionist about it. The fact that they could walk up to the front door of the Capitol Hill without special forces jumping on them. You're telling me that there was no special forces at Capitol Hill? You might. That's up to you. If you want to be blind and you want to be dumb, that's up to you. But I wasn't born yesterday. You think that somebody can just walk up to Capitol Hill and not be taken down? Okay. So he did a video about that and about how everybody needs to be brought to justice. Anybody who's not a Democrat basically needs to be brought to justice because they're obviously supporting this insurrection. It's just the opposition party. That's all. Like this is the sort of thing that happens in African countries. You do realise where they demonise the other part, the opposition party. They demonise them, and that's when you get civil wars and you get people attacking each other. That's what happened. That's what happens in those countries, and now this is happening in the US. It's bizarre to me. I mean, there was a post the other day that said that that the people who were involved in the domestic terrorist attack on Capitol Hill should be dealt with the same as the people that were involved in 9/11 attacks. And then, as people have pointed out, drone strikes on schools in the Middle East. What are you talking about? So you're saying drone strikes in the US? Just the dumb things that people are saying at the moment, I can't wrap my head around, honestly. Another one, Lady Gaga going to Joe Biden's inauguration and singing there and kind of like why are you supporting? If you go back and look through Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's policies and records from the past, things that they've done in the past, they're deplorable human beings. They're deplorable. And I'm not saying like rumours or what somebody said or an accusation. I'm talking about laws that they've helped to pass, laws that they've put forward. A lot, like they've done a lot of bad things. So why you would associate, as a celeb, why would you associate with that? I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. You can be a celebrity and be well known without having to... I do get it. It's money. Because politicians know the power of celebrity. Now, the one recently that just got me as well was the Seth Rogen from Knocked Up and from many a 40-Year-Old Virgin and all these movies. Very, very good. Very, very great movie kind of guy. Great actor, great. I think he wrote some of those comedy movies as well. Great guy. Well respected by me. Thought he was great. His movies, like I'd missed his movies, that type of stupid humour. Missed it. And now, kind of after... So he went after Ted Cruz, who is a Republican guy in the US in Congress, and so he went after him, and he was calling him a fascist, and he was calling him this and calling him that, like name calling, like in a playground. And again, Ted Cruz is a politician. He's after his own interests. It doesn't matter what side they're on. They're all the elite. They've all been in government or around government all their life. That's all they've ever done. And so they've all been just lining their pockets. So I don't really care about Ted Cruz himself, but for a celeb to be supporting one political party and then going after a politician, it's cringeworthy. It's really cringeworthy. And so so he was saying he was a fascist, and the annoying thing for me about saying things like fascist to somebody like Ted Cruz is it diminishes, because it's not true, it diminishes the strength of the word fascist. It takes away its meaning. And it's the same as when people call people racist and they're not racist. They're saying this person's racist, or now kind of whether they say all white people are racist. It diminishes it because it's not true. So what it does is it desensitizes people's reaction to the term racist. And that's not good. But we reserve these terms to be strong, that when somebody is what you've called them, that people rally around and go, oh, okay, I can see the evidence, like that person is fascist, that person is racist, but these people aren't. Come on, man. And then he was ripped a new one by Gad Sad, which I enjoyed watching, because he said that he'd watched one of Gad's videos and he said that it was stupid, and Gad just did a thread that just destroyed him. And it's sad because, as I say, I like Seth. So these people that I follow, what you got to realise if you're a celeb watching this is people who follow you because they like you. So why would you want to alienate them? For politicians of all people. And I'll say something about this, about backing and supporting people a bit later, because I've got something interesting to say about that. But why would you do it for corrupt politicians? I don't get it. Really don't get it. Another one, John Leguizamo. Like, I haven't seen him in any decent movies for years, but I followed him because of the Columbia connection. And because I thought he did some great movies. Romeo and Juliet was brilliant. His performance in that was excellent. But he's become a right dick. Like, honestly, he's become, he's, like, again, I cringe at some of the stuff he says. I mean, there was something he retweeted the other day, and it was about Joe Biden being a leader, this is what a leader looks like. Thank God that we've now got somebody who's a real leader. And he said, Biden's a great leader. This is what a leader looks like. And I'm like, what? No, he's not. No, he's not. He's an extreme corrupt politician who's had a career in politics and not done anything else. He's had his pockets lined by various governments from around the world. And now he's going senile, and they've elected him to be president. So that's not what a leader looks like. There's plenty of leaders in the world. Joe Biden is right at the bottom of kind of right down there at the bottom of the list. It's ridiculous. I mean, at the moment, some of the press conferences he's doing, I think it's sick. I think whoever's putting him forward, it's sick. When he was signing those executive orders, and he said, "I don't know what I'm signing," and they said, "Just sign it." Come on. So, and then celebrities are backing that. It's like they're blind. It's like they're, but it's not. That's another thing that frustrates me. I've sent to some of these celebrities. I've replied, or I've sent them things and said, look at this. Are you really telling me that Biden's a great leader? And they just ignore it, which tells me either they're dumb or they're participating in the game. And I think it's the latter. They're participating, so they think you're dumb. Those are the options. Either they're dumb or you're dumb, and they think you're dumb. A few of the other ones. Ken Jeong, who's from the The Hangover. Brilliant. Again, brilliant. And here's the thing, like with social media, for me at least, I look for people that I admire as from their work. So if it's in movies, if it's somebody like Ken, I looked for him and I said, okay, I found him on Twitter, on wherever, and I start following him. But then very quickly after, I'm thinking, what? And what's interesting? So he was constant berating Trump and Trump supporters and Trump people in Trump's cabinet, whatever. Fair enough. But I still found it cringeworthy. But what's interesting is now that Trump's got, and he was supporting Democrat, whatever, Democrat this, Democrat that, supporting, retweeting, spreading the message, spreading the gospel. But what I found interesting is, I've just thought this, he hasn't tweeted anything political for a very long time. So I don't know if he's realised now. I don't know if now that he's seen what's going on, he's thinking to himself, shit, like, this wasn't a good thing, as I imagine a lot of people are now. Another one who used to support him is Dave Bautista, the former wrestler, now an actor. Like he was a friend. He's a friend of, I think, of Ken Jeong, and he the same again. Like just always kind of attacking Trump, and not realizing what damage it does to his character, to his fame, to his celebrity, because people won't. The general public aren't stupid, and they won't forget. And I don't mean they won't forget because they don't support. There's very few who support the man, in my opinion, Trump or whoever. There's very few. The majority of people vote because they do look at the policies and they say, okay, so this is what this is what I'm voting for. I'm voting for this. But people aren't going to forgive a lot of these celebrities who spoke out about something that saying that they voted wrong and they were stupid and they were this and that. People aren't going to forget that. So how's it going to affect their careers? It's not going to be pretty for them. And in the UK we've got celebrities, we've got who are just outspoken and dumb with it as well. Gary Lineker is a really good example. I think he's the most well paid personality at the BBC for doing Match of the Day. It's on millions a year is his salary, coming out of taxpayers' money that goes through the BBC licence fee. And so he's got opinions. He's got strong opinions about politics, about Brexit, about Brexit, which has now allowed people to get vaccinated faster than if we would have been in the EU. But he's been really, really outspoken, and people called him out on it, and he said, well, no, it's just my opinion. I get to say my opinion. It's like, do you publicly? People love you for this. They like you for this, for your talent, for what you're doing, the things you achieved when you were a footballer. They don't want to hear you slating what they believe, their beliefs. And for me, just the lowest of the low is cheerleading politicians when they say, this is a real politician, this is a real politician. No, it's not. No, it's not. This is, like, they're not, they don't live the same life as us, politicians, or members of the elite. Because, that's another thing. The elite, politicians are their mouthpiece. And then celebrities are the mouthpiece of the politicians. That's how it works. Like, for me, just do your job. That's all that I'm asking you to do. Just do your job. I'll do my job, you do your job. If we're face to face and you want to talk politics, then let's talk politics. But don't try and use your influence to change people's minds and to say that one side's wrong and your side's right. The people who pay you are right. Dumbasses. And I think they're making a huge difference, but they're not. That's the other thing. They think they're doing, or they portray that they're doing it for a noble cause, and it's absolutely not a noble cause. To follow politicians, it's not. It's not a noble cause. You can see that you're as corrupt as they are. If you're a celeb and you offer your undying support to a politician, all that's going to happen is in the long term, is you're coming off as a traitor or an idiot or both. A traitor to the people, or you don't get it, or both, or you don't get it and you don't care about the people. In which case, why should fans like your work and like you and follow you? I mean, some of those celebrities that I've said there, like I'm actually not that bothered about watching their. Seth Rogen, very often on Netflix now, like I would look through comedy, and if Seth Rogen was on one of the screenshot, the thumbnails or whatever they call it for a movie, Netflix, like I would have whacked it on, and I'm inclined not to now, because I'm like, do you know what? Watching the movie, it spoilt it a little bit to know that he's an asshole. Just ever such a little bit, it spoilt it, because I prefer to think that he's just a funny ass guy, that he's just hilarious. That's what I like. I don't know. So I'd look for something else now. I don't know. But then there are good examples of really good celebs out there. And this is somebody, just as an example, that works the opposite way. It's somebody who, in the past, incredibly in the past, he was seen as having just one dimension to his acting. He's an actor. And people said he had the same character in every movie and he didn't have any style, talent, whatever. And then over time, he did a few movies that were really good and really changed that opinion of him. And now he's I'd say he's A-grade Hollywood celebrity. Just doesn't act like it. And that's Matthew McConaughey. And for me, he's a real example of somebody who does have celebrity, but understands his celebrity, understands why he's famous, understands why people love him, and understands that people don't necessarily want you to tell them they're stupid because they've voted a certain way or because of politics or whatever. He doesn't really talk about politics, as in party politics, but he does talk about things that are right, things that are wrong, things that are going on. And here's a contrast between Seth Rogen popped up out of nowhere, suddenly on social media, and he's slating Ted Cruz, and he's getting all this traction, and he's in this battle of words and calling people idiots out of nowhere. Just, you're an idiot, replying, you're an idiot. Gad sad, just a reply out of nowhere. I saw your video, it was dumb, you're stupid. Okay. But he thinks that's a fun way and like clever way to. And I'll tell you what he was doing. So then he started posting about his book. He's brought a book out. Go and buy my book. That's why he's doing it. He's just getting eyes on the sale of his book. He doesn't care about anybody. He's just trying to sell his book. He's also making pottery. Beautiful, great, lovely. I wonder why he's doing that. While he's got all this attention, he's trying to make bank. That's all he's doing. He's trying to make money. But he's playing a lot of people for fools. That's not the way to do it. The way to do it is how Matthew McConaughey did it. He's brought out his book Green Lights. Green Lights? Green Lights? Green Lights. Anyway, it's Green Lights. And the way he did it was he realised that all the eyes currently are on podcasts. So he went on tons of podcasts. So I'm just going to quickly a couple of these. He went on Jordan Peterson's podcast. He went on Joe Rogan. He went on Rich Roll. He went on Aubrey Marcus. He went on Russell Brand. He went on Tim Ferriss. The High Performance podcast. Lance Armstrong. Michaela Peterson. Look at all of these, man. Lewis Howes, I don't know who that is. Drinking Bros podcast. So he went on all of these podcasts, and I know it's more than that because I know of quite a few other podcasts that he went on. But that's how you do it. You go on and you talk. He realised that the normal avenues for selling a book are no longer there. So the old way of doing it was going on all TV shows, TV programs. And the viewership for that, for those programs now, are just non-existent. Nobody's watching anything anymore. Where it is in podcasts and in things online and shows online. And he realised that. And so he went out there and he spoke to all of these different people. And he spoke about it well, in a positive way, and talking about his experiences, his life and the book, but kind of in an engaging way that people can get behind, and not alienating anybody or saying, I wish that I was asleep in bed now with Biden and we'd got our pyjamas on and we were spooning. He didn't do none of that. He just went out and he just went on all these podcasts and spoke to all these different people because he was intelligent, because he knows that people will listen, and people will, of all across the political spectrum, will continue to like his work moving forward and go out and buy his book. So that's the two things. One, you can insult a load of people and half of the population goes and buys your book, like Seth Rogen, which is dumb, because then the other half never watch anything you go and do again. Or you do it like McConaughey and you go on everybody's podcast with a big smile on your face, giving positivity and giving advice and giving all of these things. That's the difference. And that's clever. So now he's got everybody wanting to watch his stuff in the future or buy his book or whatever. I mean, I'm going to, again, Netflix, if I'm going through and I know that there's a McConaughey movie out, I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put it on because watching him on the podcast is very engaging. He's an interesting dude. So I would say, to wrap this up, to conclude, I would say, don't let celebrities influence your opinions. You might like them. You might like their movies and their comedy or their music. But be your own critical mind. Like, think about what they're saying, why they're saying it, and then cross-reference it and see, do you agree? Do you agree that Ted Cruz is a racist, is a fascist? Do you agree? If so, why do you agree? I mean, I've had discussions with people online saying about where I've contested this thing about Ted Cruz being a fascist, and they've tried to say to me, they've said, here's the definition of fascism. Look, this is it. And I'm like, well, yeah, but that's not what Ted Cruz is. That's not what he's doing. He's not a fascist. Yeah, but I'm saying I don't care. Use your own mind. Figure it out. Celebrities aren't real people. They're not like you and me, the majority of them. They've grown up in privileged circles. They've grown up with plenty around them, without the real struggle of having to live paycheck to paycheck, to live hand to mouth, to struggle to make ends meet. They haven't had to do any of that. So everything gets handed to them. So why you would follow people like that, I have no idea. If you want heroes or people to admire, look around you. Like there's plenty of people around you that you can look up to. No matter what your age is, there's plenty of people. There's plenty of people doing some amazing things that you can identify and say that's pretty cool. Right, like that the achievements that person's got, or the talents that person's got, I really respect and I enjoy. Look for the people around you. There's plenty of them. There's plenty of people doing good things. And look for people they've lived a real life with experiences very similar to yours. So not the elite, not the politicians. Why would you look up? What is it? Because you want to get to that level, to where they are, or what is it? There's no point in doing that. Look for people who've got real life experience. That's all I'm saying. And then when they've got that life experience, they've got the authority to speak about those things. If you want to learn about sports, then somebody who's been in sports, look up to them. If you want to learn about money, find somebody who's done well, who's gone from not having a lot to being well off, and how they've got there, and listen to them and learn from them. And that's the look at these people. Then look at the people who've done amazing things. I mean, like a good example for me is kind of, she was like adopted into Birmingham a little bit, was Malala Yousafzai, the girl who was shot by the Taliban. And then she came over to the UK to live, had an operation, recovered. She then did her schooling, degree. I don't know if she's got a master's now, and she's doing amazing. But you don't ever see her getting political. Getting political as in support. You don't see her going out and supporting Biden. You don't see her going out and supporting, I don't know, people in the EU. You don't see her doing any of that. She's out there for women's rights in Pakistan and around the world, for young girls' rights. That's what she's campaigning for. She's somebody to admire and look up to. She obviously realises that she's not going to support politicians in that way. So when you're supporting people, my philosophy is, don't throw your support behind somebody unless you're willing to go down with their ship. So what I mean by that is, make sure that you understand who you're supporting. Because when their ship sinks, you go down with them. There's no saying, well, I didn't really know, and yeah, I'm not sure. I wasn't sure at the time. And no, you've used, like, if you're out there vocally changing people's minds and vocally supporting and cheerleading a politician, when everything goes bad, then you're tainted by that. So that's why when you support someone, you should have a real connection with them. Know that you've got a real connection with them. So usually it's friends or family that you should put that undying support behind. Nobody else. Like family, like another way, would you die for members of your family, for some of your friends? Yes, I would imagine some of you would. And that's the way that you've got to look at it, is what's the point in putting your support behind somebody if actually you weren't that bothered in the first place? Because to everybody else, I suppose you're trying to influence, like, they're not going to forgive that. So why would you do that for politicians? I don't understand why celebrities would do that for politicians. Because it's a career ender. It's gross, if I'm honest. It's not nice. I mean, the true role of the celeb is to be a fantasy for us, to entertain us, to give us that escapism during your work. If you're a footballer and you might be Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, one of these real top footballers, and they wow us, and we say, oh, because you imagine that you could have been there, you could have done that, you could imagine what it felt like to do what they've done, to score that goal, to do that bit of skill, to whatever it is on such a big stage, to have nerves of steel in the moment, like things like that. That's what celebrities and famous people are there for. Football is there to entertain us, nothing else. It doesn't give us anything. It's just there to entertain us. So they're there to give us a fantasy, entertain us, not to mock us and be idiots. That's all they're there for. So grow up and start doing your job. You don't need to do anything else for us. You're celebrities. You make enough money. Do your job. Oh, I hate this new celebrity culture where people get behind. I mean, and kind of sticking in podcast land, because that's where I am. That's where I'm living. That's where I'm existing in my cave. Is Theo Von on his past weekend? He stays away from politics, and I like it. In fact, a lot of the people that he works with do as well. Generally, they'll stay away from politics because they know that they're alienating people People don't want to be told that they're wrong, that they're an idiot. But that's what a lot of celebrities are doing now. And there's only one reason why they're doing it. It's for the ching ching, for the money, and that's it. Just to be a mouthpiece. It's the same as being a whore. That's all it is. It's all it is, man. So just don't listen to them. Celebrities, take them with a pinch of salt. Let me know what you think. Please drop a comment and let me know what you think down below. I really appreciate it. But I just had to get that off my considerable chest because I'm just tired. I'm tired of seeing celebrities bigging up politicians, corrupt politicians who are part of a system that oppress everybody else. Does my head in. Really does. But that's me. That's me for this week, ladies and gentlemen. I really appreciate you coming in and watching. If you've watched the end again, thank you very much. Just another little reminder, subscribe, click the like button, click the little bell notification next to the subscribe so that you get notified every time I upload a video. And I really, really do appreciate you coming in and watching my videos. So please get in touch. Come and follow me over at all the social media. You'll be able to find me over there and we can interact a little bit more. We can have a few conversations. I'm happy to do that. So yeah, until next time, I've got a little bit of tea left. But until next time, thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week. Whatever you're doing, stay safe. Come back next time and we'll have a few drinks for Chris. Speak to you soon.